Hello, everyone. We're live. I hope. Let me know in the chat if you can see me and hear me and see Vanessa here by letting us know where you are coming from. So in the chat, tell us where you are in the world today, maybe what you just stopped doing to be here live. That's so cool. We are actually live, and I am so glad you're here. So let us know in the chat if you can see us and hear us if you're just arriving by telling us where you're coming from. My name's Isa, and I am in San Diego, California. What about you, Vanessa?
Sorry, I was in the chat. Hey, everybody. I'm Vanessa, and I am in Nashville, Tennessee. And I see people coming in here. So we got like 70 people coming in, people from France and Florida. So in Texas, hey, Texas. So it's super exciting. I always say hey to all of my Southern people because I love
Yes, representing the South for us. I'm on the West Coast, but I'm from Florida. So I love everyone. And oh my gosh, we've got South Africa. I saw Missy from Barcelona, Nova Scotia, Sweden. This is the most international webinar I think we've had in a while. Italy, people from around the world, but this is serious.
Right, Nova Scotia.
Really happy. What time is it?
Right, is it Thursday or Friday where you're at? Let us know.
I know. So people are up at all different hours to be here today. That is so amazing. Nigeria. Vanessa and I get excited about this.
We do a little too much.
Puerto Rico. Hola.
Puerto Rico. Hola.
Oh. So good. Well, thank you for being here. I am so excited for this workshop today about funnels and automations. And if you don't know what those words mean yet, you're going to be a pro expert at the end of this hour. My name is Isa. For those of you just arriving, I'm the webinar producer at ConvertKit. We help you send emails to your people, and we're going to talk about that at the end. But Vanessa is here to help with the chat and the Q&A. She is our webinar experience manager, and so she will be making sure that you have a good time. So feel free to use that chat the whole time. I'm watching it the whole time. Vanessa is in there the whole time. And if you have questions, put them in the Q&A box so that we don't miss them, because the chat moves pretty fast and I want to see your thoughts in the chat, your questions, your things that you're writing down all throughout this workshop, because we want to hear from you. You're here live and your perspective is really what makes this special. So feel free to help each other as well. Vanessa, anything you want to say before you disappear, but not really?
Right. Just to echo what Isa said, keep the energy flowing. We love, you all being hyped up in the chat. So I'm going to go off camera and then we'll pop back on for a little Q&A. So take it away, Isa.
Woohoo! So we are going to jump right in. We are here to talk about turning subscribers into customers and how to automate a successful sales funnel in minutes. So my promise to you is that at the end of this 1 hour workshop, you are going to actually have a plan for your business to sell a thing that you're already selling now or want to sell now, or a plan for something that you want to create to sell in the future. So you don't even have to have it ready, but this process that I'm going to take you through is a process you can use anytime you have something that you want to sell, and in a way that does not make you feel weird or icky. We're going to talk about that as well. So what I want to recommend for you is that you close out anything else you have going on right now. You're here, which is so amazing, and I want to make sure that you get the most out of this hour. And we know that the best way to do that is to close out everything. And I know it's hard because I go on webinars all the time too. I'm always learning, and it's so hard to close out everything because I want to do it all at once. But I have noticed that when I really commit to doing that and I close out everything, I turn off my phone and I just focus and take notes on my own business and what I'm doing, I always get so much more out of it, and I actually take action afterwards. And that's what we want for you. So I really want to make the most of your time here because I think it's really cool. You've just decided to spend an hour with me, and I want to make sure you come out of it with something really awesome. So I'm going to share with you all of that. So if you haven't already, close everything out, get a pen, paper, open up a doc on your computer and get ready to take notes. You can take notes on what I say, totally cool. But what I really want you to take notes on is the ideas you're going to get for your business and the thoughts you're going to have. That's what's going to make this very special for you. My name is Isa. If you've just arrived, I am the webinar producer at ConvertKit. We're an email service provider, but who I really want to introduce you to is Ugly Sweater Isa. this is me 8, 9 years ago now. Before I had an email list, before I had a website or a blog, I knew nothing about funnels, automations. I had no idea. I had a day job. This is our ugly sweater Christmas party. This is a thing in America since we've got people from all over the world. We wear ugly sweaters on Christmas, and I made my own. And I, really liked my day job. But I had a dream to have my own business and to publish a book, and I had no idea how to do that. And I started by doing exactly what you're doing right now in this moment. I started going on free trainings online. And 8 to 9 years ago, this was teleseminars. So on my lunch break, I'd stop everything. I'd get on these teleseminars and I would learn about how do you get a book published? How do you start a business? And everything I learned tended to go back to building an audience, building a community, and doing that through email was a thing that kept coming up over and over again as well. So I started really listening and I started doing the things that I was learning. And so in addition to going on the free trainings, I also started getting up earlier before my day job. And that was my time to work on all the things I was learning. And I did that day to day to day. You can see my little create every day sign here. And that was a really big shift for me. And a year later, I had my book published. I quit my job and I had my own full-time business, traveling the country, speaking, sharing my book all around the country for many, many years. And it really was a dream come true. And it started truly by taking the time to learn some of the things I didn't know yet. And there were things I already knew that I was really good at. I was a good writer. I knew what I was writing about. I knew my book. So you all probably have something that you already do or you are good at. And that is what I really care about. I want to help you get that out to more people. And there are little systems and little things that you can learn that can help you do that. And that is why we're here today. So if that's something that resonates with you, if you are doing something that you care about and you want to share it with more people, you are in the right place. That is really what today is all about. So I would love to know where you are in your journey right now. And sometimes the best way to find that out is how many email subscribers do you have? Are you in the ugly sweater phase with a 0? That's one of my favorite places to be. Everyone starts at 0. No one's born with an email list. But maybe you've been doing this for a while and you have some more going on. So let us know. Some people have like in the thousands, which is amazing. You have to tell us what you're doing. We've got some 25, some zeros, 54,000 Dante. Wow. Let us know what you're doing. That's pretty fantastic. Lorraine's recreating her online business again after a 9-year hiatus. Lorraine, that's so exciting. I love reinvention. I know it's hard, but it is very, very exciting. I've done that myself, actually. So it looks like we have people from all over the map. We've got 0 to 54,000 right now. It's probably one of the biggest ranges I've ever seen, which is really, really great. So for those of you on the higher end, feel free to let us know what you're doing. We'll help a lot of people here. And those of you who maybe have 0 or 9, the person who had 54,000 at one point had 9. So everyone has been where you are. So that is very exciting. And I would also love to know, what is your business? What do you sell? And maybe you sell lots of things, but give us an idea of who is here in the room? What do you sell? And if you're still in the building phase, that's okay too. Let us know what you're planning on selling or what business you're trying to start. So I see some English lessons. Patty's still working on her online courses. Tara, digital lesson plans for teachers. Membership site, Jose, with books and courses. Law school. Oh my gosh. So many different things. Ooh, creativity coach, Jens. Oh, Jens. I know Jens. Jens, I've seen you on Twitter. You're my friend. Yay. So awesome. So it looks like you all are doing a lot of things. I saw fantasy football too. So cool. This is why I love what I do. Because it's not really about automations and funnels and email. It's not about that. It's about yoga, nutrition services, and selling your stuff on Etsy and selling your inspirational apparel. Like, that's what gets me excited. That's what this is all about. It's about getting your stuff to more people. But that can be hard to do in such a noisy world, right? How do you cut through all of the clutter and get your message and get your products and get your services to your people? How do you find them? And then how do you share your thing with them so that they can buy it? One thing that we know works really well is email. And this is something we hear time and time again. This quote actually came from a survey we did last year, where we had creators telling us over and over again that the vast majority of their income was directly tied to their email list. And this is exactly what that looked like. People who were using email versus not earned a whole lot more. And that the good news is that you don't have to have a giant list to do that. You don't have to have thousands and thousands of people on your email list to actually earn a living online, whether it's a full-time living or a part-time living or whatever it is your goal. You don't have to have a big email list. You just have to have the right one. And that starts with the right funnels. And I'm going to help you build that today. So it's really about getting the right people on your list, giving them the right messages that really speak to them, and then leading them towards your thing. It's actually not that complicated, which is very exciting. It's just a matter of really taking the time to think about it and plan it and then implement it. And that's what we're going to get you closer to here today. I work at ConvertKit, as I mentioned, and we exist to help creators earn a living. And I would love to know, for those of you here, are any of you using ConvertKit, or have any of you done a webinar with me before? Let me know. I'm just curious. So this is what we are all about. This is what our email platform is all about, helping you earn a living online with the things that you do really well. And that's what excites me about this. And it's also why we do these webinars. So at the end, I'll show you how to set up a funnel in ConvertKit, but the workshop that we're doing today, the strategies that we're talking about today, you can implement no matter what email tool that you are using. So our goal is that this workshop helps you whether or not you use ConvertKit, but we will definitely show you how you can set some of that stuff up at the end. So what we're going to go through today is planning a funnel for your ideal customers. I'm going to show you an example of an automated funnel that actually works. And we're going to talk about how to set up a funnel for your business and automate it so you can turn subscribers into customers. And by the way, I'm definitely seeing the chat and seeing a lot of you. Some of you have been on a webinar with me before, so yay, welcome again. And some of you, it looks like, are on ConvertKit, thinking about trying it. So thank you so much for sharing that. At the end, I'm also going to share with you some free stuff, including a bonus that is just for those of you who are here live. So definitely stick around to the end of the webinar if you can. There'll be some stuff. So first, we're going to plan a funnel for your ideal customer. No two funnels are alike, at least the good ones. And that's why it really involves a little bit of planning in the beginning. And hopefully this will be fun. I always think this is really fun because hopefully you're in a business with something that you really, really like and really enjoy. And that always gives you a bit of an advantage. So get your notes out. We're doing this. Let's go. It's time. So I want you to answer these questions throughout this workshop, and you're going to see at the end how this will actually plan a funnel for you. It's a little bit magical. For now, just go with me, and I want you to answer these questions, and I want your gut reaction. This does not need to be perfect right now. Just go with your gut reaction, first thing that comes to your mind. And after you write it down for yourself, please tell us in the chat. We would love to know what you're thinking. So question number one is, what is one thing you'd like to sell more of? Gut reaction. Or perhaps what is something you wish more subscribers would do? So it might be that first part of your sales process. So if you're a service-based business, right, you might need them to schedule a call is the first thing they're going to do because maybe they purchase after that call. But it sounds like a lot of you have products and courses and things, so it might be just to buy that thing. And a lot of what you all are selling looks like people can buy online. But some might be scheduling a call like Kim, so that's perfect. So I want you to write that down, and for now, just pick one. This process that we do, you can then recreate it for any product, any service that you also want to sell. But right now, I want you to get really, really focused and pick one. And I recommend picking the one that would really make the biggest difference in your business right now. And Lauren asked, does price matter? Absolutely not. Only as much as it matters to you. So if you want to sell more of your higher priced item, pick that one. If that would make maybe the bigger difference in your business, I want you to pick that one. Coffee subscriptions, some really cool things. Andre, buy your ebook. Let us know what your ebook's about. Pretty cool. So pick that, write it down, tell us in the chat. Number two, what are the frequently asked questions or common objections people might have before they buy your thing or schedule a call? What do people want to know before they buy. So think about it. What are the common objections or questions that you already get? If you've already tried to sell this thing on some level, you'll know. There's also common objections that tend to happen for any product or service, right? People want to know, can they really trust you? They want to know, does it really give me enough value where it's worth the cost, right? Those are some very common things that are always in our minds before we buy something, right? So you can use those if you don't know exactly, and feel free to share what you already know, because your answers will inspire other people here, I promise you. So like Dante already knows what makes our coffee different. So that is exactly what I'm talking about. Beautiful. Write those down. These will help you a ton. You can also think about for this, your answers to this question. What do people find most interesting when they hear about what it is that you do or what it is that you sell? This will give you some very important clues, spoiler alert, to some emails you can write. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Number 3, what is the story behind your thing? And obviously you don't have to write your whole story out right now, but maybe a couple key words that remind you of key moments of your story. Why did you start this thing? Why did you create this product? Your story can be one of the most powerful tools when it comes to cutting through the clutter and really getting to the right people. So that can be a really great clue here for this one. And then if you're really stuck and you really don't know, the best way to figure this out is to start to have one-on-one sales conversations with people. Like, try to sell your thing one-to-one, whether that's in a one-to-one email, one-to-one phone call, or one-to-one meeting. There's no better research than actually having a sales conversation with one person, sharing your thing, getting their real-time questions, take notes. And if you did this once, let alone twice, I guarantee you would get everything you need to make a really, really great sales funnel. So this is something I highly recommend that you do if you're getting stuck and you're not sure what these questions are, because real research from real people and really knowing who your potential customers are is what makes all the difference. So it's worth the time up front. Number 3, who is your thing for? So who will that thing you wrote down in number 1, that thing you want to sell, who will it actually help? And I encourage you to niche down and think really specific. So you don't want to think of, well, like everyone loves coffee, for example, right? Dante, we know he's selling coffee subscription. It's going to be, you want to get more specific than that, right? Who are they really? What do they think about coffee? What do they like about it? What's important to them? How do they identify with it? And there's so many ways you can go with this. There's no right one. The key is just really getting specific. And Seth Godin recommends figuring out who you're for and then ignoring everybody else. And it doesn't mean everybody else won't come to you, but what's way more effective is really getting specific about who you are for. And then when you speak to them, that is the big secret in cutting through the clutter and all the noise and all the content out there, is that if you really speak to a specific group of people, they are going to see that. And it is going to catch their attention because they will feel like you are reading their mind. And this is very, very, very helpful, and something that people who are really doing this well, this is what they do. They really, really focus. So I love Jennifer said, tired, overwhelmed moms. Already starting to get more specific versus just moms. So I love that. And Dante, active individuals who are seeking to replace their pre-workout supplements with our organic, highly caffeinated coffee. Boom! Dante knows what he's doing. Exactly. Love it. And you can also think about who's been drawn to you naturally if you've already been in business for a little bit. Number 4, what frustrations, needs, or problems do tired, overwhelmed moms have? Or active individuals seeking to replace their pre-workout supplements with organic, highly caffeinated coffee, right? What are their frustrations? What are their needs? What are their problems? And what is the ideal result that they want? And this can sound really dramatic, but if you're selling like a creative product on Etsy, right? A problem might just be, I'm bored with my space and I'm uninspired, or, I need something to make me happy on my desk. Like, it doesn't have to be super dramatic, but there's a problem, there's a need, there's something missing, and they want a result. So I encourage you to really write your gut reactions to these questions right now. Like, what results are they looking for? What is the change in their life that they want. And you can already see if you're someone who's like, ugh, I hate the idea of selling. I don't want to talk about me. I don't want to be like a cheesy salesperson. The good news is you don't have to be. You really don't. If you really start to think of it in terms of your people, what they want in their life, it totally changes the game, and it's way more fun and way easier to do than feeling like you need to talk about yourself in some way that's really awkward. So think about them. What is the change in their life that they want? And really think about that. What is currently getting in their way? What is frustrating them? And as you can probably already imagine, your answers to these questions are the things that start to make those people feel like, oh my gosh, you're reading my mind. And what you're doing is you're just actually taking the time to really think about them and empathize with them. And maybe you were them at some point. What is the pain point that brings them to you typically? What is the moment in their life, the thing getting in their way, the frustration that they're having, or the need that they have, where they're like, okay, they're looking for you in some way. What is that pain point? What is that moment? And if you're not sure, ask people, what is the change in their life that they want? What is currently getting in their way? You can start to do research on social media, text people, email people, just ask someone. If you've already been in business, get on the phone with one of your past customers or clients and ask them to imagine where they were at that time. And you can also interview yourself. If you have a product or a service that you would have wanted at a certain time in your life, you can go back in time and think about yourself and ask yourself these questions. And that can be a really, really good indicator here. Number 5, what content do you have or could create that would solve a pain point? So what could you give for free to help someone get a quick result or maybe get something out of their way? So some ideas here. And what works really well is if you can teach something for free. I call it a frustration vanquisher, like really just solve someone's problem really quickly with something that save them some time, save them a step. And you can do this so many different ways. I recommend doing it the way that you can get done the fastest, because you can always add to this. So you can start with a free checklist, guide, tutorial, webinar, maybe a free email course teaching people how to do something. These work really, really well. It can be a case study if you're a service-based business, showing how one of your clients had a change in their life that other people might be looking for and giving people advice and tips on that. It could be a free guide if you sell products, physical products, on how to care for or choose or style that thing that you're selling. Or it can simply be a free sample of what you sell. And I would love to know in the chat too, if some of you have some email lists with thousands of people on it, which is wonderful. Feel free to let us know in the chat. What are you doing right now to get people on your email list? What kind of lead magnets do you have? That's one word for it. So let us know. Are you doing anything on this list? Are you doing something else? There's lots of things you can do to be really creative. So let us know what's working for you right now too. Would love to hear that. So Lisa, for example, is doing a free ebook and that's working well for her. That's awesome. Ooh, challenges. Shannon, that is a good one. I don't have on here, but challenges, email challenges are so good. And Dante said free samples are one of their strongest lead magnets. I'm guessing free samples of coffee, Dante, is that something you're doing? If so, that's really, really cool. Loving it. So what you have here is this list of these things we just talked about, what you want to sell, what the frequently asked questions are, who your people are, what result they want, and then free content that's going to help them get that. And if you flip that, you just made a funnel. That is it. That is it. And here's where it looks, how it looks much prettier. It starts with a lead magnet. So you're giving away something for free, no strings attached, and it's something that's going to help them even if they never buy from you. And that's how you really want to be thinking about that lead magnet, is really truly helping someone whether or not they buy. Then you want that lead magnet to give them a result, right? That's what I just talked about. That's what I mean. Like, it should really do something, not just kind of tease them for what you have to sell. You really want to help them get somewhere. Because not only is this a nice thing to do, but it builds trust and it builds a likability factor. They start to feel a relationship with you. And that's really important when it comes to turning them from a subscriber to a customer, is building that trust factor. And when you teach someone something and you actually help them get a result, or you give them something that is going to give them some kind of feeling that's related to what you do, it's going to start to build that relationship. Then you're going to send a couple emails answering some of those frequently asked questions through teaching, and then you're going to share your thing. And you can see here, this purchase part happens at the end. And there's a reason for that, right? We love to buy things. We hate to be sold to. And the reason why sometimes we think of sales as like, ugh, is because of all the bad experiences we've had when someone takes that purchase part and puts it at the top. And they just begin the relationship shouting at why we need to buy their thing. And that makes us very uncomfortable. No one wants to be like that, right? So that is why a funnel like this works so much better, because you're actually building a relationship first. And that's why I like email. As I mentioned, it's not about email. It's not about funnels. It's not about automations. It really is about people and about building a community and making an actual connection. And that is what really helps creators earn a living online. I've met so many of them who are earning a full-time living online. And one of the things I see that they all have in common is they really have genuine relationships with the people on their email list, with their customers. They've really built a community that sometimes is even more special to them than the living, because the living is really great too. And we would like to help you do both. And when you do it this way, that is what you end up creating. You're creating these advocates, people who don't feel like you're just talking to them when you want to sell something. They are people who feel like you've really actually made a difference in their life. The thing that you have created, the thing that you've shared is something that has become a part of their life and they love it. And they're going to tell other people about you. And if your lead magnet's pretty good, they're going to tell other people about this free lead magnet that started it all. So, hey, you can get a free sample if you go to this person's website, or, oh, I did this free email course. Someone was literally telling me about a free email course yesterday. One of my best friends was like, I just did this free email course. It's so awesome. You have to do it. And word of mouth, by the way, even with online businesses, is still one of the most powerful things. So when you really take the time to create a funnel like this, you can start to create that kind of attention and that kind of pattern, which is a very good pattern, because while this will take some work in the beginning to set up, once this is set up, you're pretty much done, unless you want to edit it, but it will run for you. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. And that is through automations and autoresponders, if you heard that word before. And I'm going to show you exactly how to set that up. But first, I want to show you an example of a funnel, so you can kind of put this into context of someone who is one of our customers. Her name is Melissa, and she is making a full-time living with her online business. And she has a very simple funnel set up that she gave me permission to share with all of you. And it is something that her competitors are actually subscribing to, because they were like, how is she doing this? How is she using email so well? What is she doing? Like, people really wanted to know. And so I interviewed Melissa and I found out. And it's really simple, which is really, really good news for you. So I want to share with you exactly what she's doing. She is doing a 6 email funnel. It's just 6 emails. So when I say funnel in the sense of email funnel or automations, it's really just emails. Emails set up to where they're actually sent in a certain order. That's all we're talking about here. It's not that complicated. 6 is not a magic number. This is what she's doing. You can totally play around with this. My very first funnel was 2 emails. When I came out with my first book, and that ran for years, and I still get replies to those emails. So it doesn't have to be complicated. If you even start with your lead magnet and 1 automated email, that is a wonderful place to start. You'll still be ahead of many, many people, and you can always build on it. So the first part of Melissa's funnel is her lead magnet. And what she's doing is offering people a free sample. So Melissa sells digital sewing patterns. So these are things people can print out and use to sew. You can tell I don't know much about sewing, but my mom does sew, so I know a little bit. But this is what she does. And she's making a full-time living doing this, which is so cool. So she is taking the free sample route. She has a digital product, so this is pretty simple for her to do. She's going to just let them try this out first. So if they're wondering, will this really work? Is it really quality? She's just saying, hey, boom, I'm going to give you this for free. And then she gives it to them for free, right? So her first email, and this is an email sequence here, and you'll see how to set this up very shortly. But her first email is giving them the free patterns. And then what she does in her second email, which I really love, is she says, just wanted to check in. And she actually asks them like, hey, how did the patterns go? How did you like it? And she has gotten replies to this email where people are like, no one has ever asked me how I liked a purchase before, let alone a free thing. So if you forget everything in this webinar and you just add that email to what you're doing, actually following up with people, asking them how they liked it, and then maybe responding to them when they respond back, you will blow people away. I was really surprised that this blew people away, but she said it really did. And I've started doing it and I've seen the same thing. People will actually reply too, which is really cool, because the more you learn about your people, the more sustainable your business can be, because you're going to actually know what to create that will really help people solve problems. So the next thing she's going to do is send an email that sort of addresses a frequently asked question, but it's not going to be an email that's just, here are all the frequently asked questions, right? She's going to actually teach something, and she does this in a really creative way. So the question that people have, right, you want to try to answer their questions before they even ask them. So the question is, will I really be able to use these patterns to make a successful sewing project? And oh my gosh, I love this. Andrea said, my experience with PDF patterns is that they suck. If she has solved this, that seems to be more important than a killer funnel. So actually, those two things go together, which I love. So Andrea had this question, right? Her experience is these PDF patterns have not worked really well. So Melissa is answering this question right off the bat in giving a free sample, right? So people can see for themselves, right? And then what she's also doing, if they're wondering, will this really work? She is also sharing a resource with them. And says, who helped you during your last sewing crisis? So she's also speaking their language here. If you notice, a lot of people are curious, what subject lines work? How do you get people to really open your emails? And if you can see here with Melissa's, and she has really good open rates, she's speaking their language. It's as simple as that. If you really know who you're for and you speak their language, it makes all the difference than trying to find some like super marketing salesy subject line that will like clickbait, get people to open, but then they don't even really like what's inside. So it's really about speaking their language. And what she's doing here is, again, helping, sharing another free resource, regardless of if they buy from her or not. And what I love about this is she's got this free Facebook group community of people who are all can relate with having sewing crises. And if you're someone who's wondering about her patterns, you're going to try it for yourself. And then you might go to this community and you're going to see other people helping each other, which can really help, because sewing is not always easy, which she knows. And so she's already relating to them. And then she shares how you can buy these patterns if you've liked all of this stuff. So again, she's not leading with that. She's helping, she's building community. And then in her fourth email, she shares her thing. And I love her subject line, one more reason to buy more fabric. I just know from my mom that she always is looking for more reasons to buy more fabric. So again, you can see she knows her people, and that makes all the difference. And then this is the sales email that works really great for Melissa. It is 2 paragraphs. She offers a special email only discount that works really well, but you don't have to do that. I think what really works about this is she has helped people. She is speaking their language and she is giving them a free sample so they can see for themselves. And at this point, she doesn't have to be pushy, right? You can feel it's got a really friendly vibe, and that's because that's how Melissa is. So you don't have to be Melissa by any means. That wouldn't work either. But really writing your emails like you talk, or really being a human and talking like you're talking to one person, makes a big difference. So sometimes when people write emails, they feel like, this is going out to 100 people or 1,000 people. So it needs to sound like I'm talking to all those people, but that's not how they're receiving it. They're receiving it very one-to-one. And so writing it that way can make a really, really big difference. And Melissa does have some urgency in this email too, which can work really well. It's just for subscribers. It's just for a limited time. It's not something that she just has on her website. And that can work really, really well too. So what does she do next? I said 6 emails, right? And those were just 4. And this is what I think makes a really, really good funnel. Is you keep teaching and you keep helping. You don't end it once you've told them what you can buy. So she keeps teaching them, giving them more tips and tricks for PDF patterns, right? She knows this world and she is going to help people. You can see she sends that email 2 days later. She sends the other one 4 days later. So she's just reminding them that she exists and helping them and showing them that she's not only going to show up in their inbox when she has something to sell, that she is here to help and she is here to be a resource. And this is what creates advocates and fans and a really solid community that's going to refer you. And just because someone doesn't buy immediately doesn't mean that they're not going to buy eventually. You never know what's going on in their life at the time, right? And it's really easy for them to forget about you. But if you keep teaching and keep sharing resources, when they realize it is time, they're going to want to find you. And that is how you can really use a funnel to create a long-term business and a long-term community. And I want to show you how you could set this up for your business in a very, very simple way, and how that automation process works so that this keeps running for you. So what I just showed you, for example, with Melissa, someone could sign up for that today and they're going to get those emails in that order, as well as that will happen when someone signs up in a week, at 4 a.m. Like Melissa's not doing anything. This is running for her. So I am going to show you how you could do this. And I would love to know in the chat or in the Q&A box, do you have any questions so far? Let us know so we can answer them at the end. Have any of you tried a funnel before or been through one that you really liked? I would love to know what you're thinking there. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And this is my ConvertKit demo account here. Oh, Erica said this is gold. Okay, that makes me happy. So I'm guessing you're all like taking notes. That's really good. So this is ConvertKit. This is my demo account, and I am going to show you how to create a funnel in our visual automations editor. Don't let those words scare you. It's just a really simple way to set up your funnels and set up your emails. So you're going to start by clicking New Automation and Create Automation. And we're going to start this funnel with a lead magnet, like we talked about. You're going to give away a thing for free. So I'm going to click Create a New Form here, and I'm going to create a form. And I'm just going to choose this template here. You can see there are some options that you can always choose from. And I'm just going to change this. This is our lead magnet here. And you can see all you need to be able to do is click and type. So I'm going to give away a free checklist today. And you can also add a picture. I think I have a demo picture here that I can show you, kind of a little image I made on Canva, just to kind of give you a sense of pictures and how that might work. I'm going to make that a little smaller, and it won't look like this when it's on a website. And I'm going to show you how to put it on a website too, so you'll see. You can click this wand and change the colors. So if you have brand colors, you can change it to match your brand exactly. Or if you want to play around with colors so that it works well with your website, you can do that too. I always choose turquoise for my button. I don't know why. I love it. And then the subscribe button, I highly recommend changing that. Make it really actionable, right? Like get the checklist, or even better, if, for example, if I was giving away a free checklist, 5 ways to get more email subscribers, I might even make the button get more subscribers. So make it very clear what is in it for them. That's what your form should do. What is in it for them? What are they going to get? And feel free to write it like you're writing to one person as well, right? Like you talk, they're also getting a sense of your personality and your voice. So don't be afraid to share that too. Or even a picture of yourself. If you are your brand, picture of yourself does work really well, kind of looking at the button. That could be really, really great. So I want to show you, if I click view, you can start to see what this is looking like once I save it. And I then will show you how you can actually get it on your website. But that link is even live. So I could share that right now and people would start to join my demo account, which wouldn't be very exciting for them, but it is automatically live. So I want to show you now, how would you connect that checklist to this form so that when someone signs up for the form, they're going to get your free thing, whatever it might be. I'm just using checklist as an example. So you would click settings and go to incentive email. So this is that double opt-in email people will get. So you can make sure they're not a robot, they're a real person, and that they're a good email address, and they didn't like type it in wrong or something, right? So this is a really great thing to implement, but it can do 2 things for you. So in addition to confirming, this can be how they can download the free thing. So I'm calling it a checklist today. So you can change the subject line of that email, and this email automatically goes out when they enter their email in that form. You can change all of this text here. It's what will go in the email that they'll receive. And I highly recommend you do make it sound like you. And then this button here, when they click on this button, they can get your free thing. So for example, I'm going to make this download the free checklist, right? So when they click on that button, what will happen is whatever I want to happen. So if you're having them get a free thing that lives online somewhere, maybe it's even schedule a call for some of you, you might have a Calendly link right here. You'd click URL, you'd put that link. So when they click that button, they would be taken to whatever website you want them to go to. If you're giving them an actual PDF of some kind or anything like that, you would click incentive download. And so I'm just going to upload my picture here, but we can pretend that is like a PDF checklist. Would do the same exact thing. So once you save that, what happens is when someone clicks that download the free checklist and they get that email, it will automatically start downloading their free thing. So it's a really easy way to give your free stuff to your people when they sign up to your email list. And then I want to show you how you can get this form on your site. There's so many ways to do it. You can do it on any kind of website. And if you have any questions about that, when you're doing this, just click this little chat with us. Someone like Vanessa will help you out. We have such nice people who do live chat. And so if you have a question about anything really, you don't even need to know the technical speak. Just tell us what you're trying to do. We will help you do it. But I want to show you one way that you can do this. So you can just copy and paste this JavaScript code here. And this is under the embed part of the settings. And so I'm going to show you almost how you can kind of make a landing page on your own website with your form. And it's the same way you could add your form to a blog post or to anything that you're already doing online. So this is just a demo page that I put on a WordPress site that I have. And then this is the behind the scenes of that page. It's just blank right now. So I just created a new page on my website, and I'm in the text editor here of WordPress, and I copied that JavaScript and now I'm just pasting it right here in the text form. And then I am going to click update, and then you will see what that form looks like on a web page. And like what I do, for example, I have a free email course that also says coming soon, by the way. So your lead magnet doesn't even have to be ready. You can say coming soon. You can start collecting emails now, and you can always build it later. So what I'm going to do here is refresh this and show you what this looks like. So what I like to do is make landing pages on my own website, and then I actually make it a part of my menu. So on my blog that I'm really active on, it's just a menu and it says free course. And then you click on free course, and then it looks something like this. So I'm going to refresh that here, and you'll see, there we go. And then I might write some text above and below this form telling them even more about it, right? Maybe have it here twice. But you can see here the font kind of it conforms to the font that's already on my web page, which is nice. So this will really brand itself to what you already have on your website. And this is live. People, if someone's literally entered this in right now, you would then get that email that with the button, and you'd get a picture, which wouldn't be that exciting. But if you had something free, it would be very exciting. And Andrea said, I want to use the form on my Instagram right now. Is that possible? It absolutely is. So once you make a form, and you can also make a landing page if you don't even have a website yet. You saw when I made a form, I also had a landing page option. That view, that is live. And you could paste that into a link on your social media right now, and people could start signing up for your website. So very good question. And that is a form. And if you just do that, get your landing page ready, I recommend doing that now. Add a little coming soon, and you can build the rest later. Don't wait till you feel like you have your perfect funnel done before you make it live. That is not the way to do it. Just start building stuff, seeing what happens, and making it along the way. So when you're ready, what you can do is click this addition sign here to add your emails. And again, if your first funnel is just one email, that is good enough. Whatever works for you. But I'll show you kind of a sample here of what you can do. So sample sales sequence, we're just going to make one. So I'm going to click create sequence here and add action, and click on that. And you can see here, this is it. So if you're doing a one email funnel, you could just click published. And maybe your first thing is, how did you like the thing? Like we saw Melissa was doing, right? And then you just write your email, right? And It is as simple as that. And if you want to add another one, you would just click add email. Maybe you want that to go out the next day. You would click publish when it's ready to go, right? And maybe here you're going to share your story, right? And then maybe here you're going to, address an FAQ that you get a lot through an FAW. That's fun. Through teaching, right? And then maybe you're going to sell your thing or tell them about your thing. It won't really feel like selling, which is usually when it works really, really well. So there's just some 4 emails right now that I just made. And that's a funnel. That's all it is. That's automations. So you can see these delays here are what make it an automation. So that lead magnet form, someone fills it out right here, right? They get that checklist immediately. And then a day later, they get an email from you saying, how did you like this, right? Then the next day, they hear a little bit more about your story, what inspired you to do what you're doing today. Then maybe they get some more free educational content that's going to help them regardless of if they buy. And then you'll tell them about your thing. And then hopefully you'll teach them more stuff like we talked about, right? And once you save this, it is done. And then you can see here, this automation is paused. So the only other thing you'll do is you'll make it live. And then that is what will turn on that sequence. So that once everyone who is signed up for that form, they will start to get all of that sequence. And then I'm just going to turn it on now. And there we go. I have a funnel. And obviously you'd want to write some more things in your email, but that is really as simple as it gets. And you can always go back and change things, but I recommend start really simple. A really good funnel does not have to be complicated. I have seen people make money from funnels that were just 1 to 2 emails as well. So I like to show you all of it, but really just start simple. You can always add on from there. And if you would like to start now, if you're feeling very excited, like I see some of you are, we want to give you a free month of ConvertKit so you can maybe start to build some of this out for yourself. So if you go to convertkit.com/April5, which is today, you can get a free month. This link is just very special to this workshop. A free month is not something that we traditionally give away on our website. It's very special for people like you who take an hour out of your day to learn something. We think that is really, really cool. And as a thank you, in addition to the free month, we'll also give you some bonuses that you can keep even if you cancel your account. So one of them, and you'll get these bonuses automatically emailed to you after you set up your free month. You will get this ebook called Authority, written by Nathan Barry, who is the founder of ConvertKit. He also made that plaque, by the way. And this is a fantastic book about making a living online in a really authentic way. That's about truly connecting with people, building an audience based on what you do really well and how you can translate that into helping people get something that they really want. And if you're already a customer, like someone just asked, you're going to get these bonuses too. And I'll tell you about that. The free month is just for those of you if it's your first free month, but all of the bonuses, even if you're already a customer, you will get these as well. The other one, which I'm really excited about, which even if you've been on a webinar with me before, you've probably never seen this because it's very new, is when you sign up for your free month, you will also get an instant automation. So you'll receive a link where you can copy an automation that I've made for you, very similar to what I just showed you, but even better because the sample sales sequence I have is written out like email 1. Here's what you could say. Here's what you could do. Email 2. And I actually I wrote this. So I ask you questions right in the email that you can answer that will actually help you write that email. So you don't have to stare at the blank page or even redo what I just showed you. It will already be done for you. You'll just go in and make it your own and add all of your own edits. So you will get that too. And then for those of you who are here live, you will get this $200 product to profit masterclass. So if you're wondering, okay, I've made my form, I've got my emails that they're going to get afterwards, I'm so excited about it. How do I get more people to actually give me their email address and come and find my lead magnet? So the first lesson in this course, Growing Your Audience, will take you through all of that. And these modules are really easy to get through. Growing Your Audience, I think it's like 20-25 minutes. It's so focused on here's what you actually do. And it's taught by people who've actually done those things to make over $2 million selling their stuff. And so what they've done with this course is they tell you exactly how they do it. It's a very like no fluff course. It's just like, here is how we did it. And it's very genuine, and all of the ways that they show are just so simple to implement. I love this course. And also I recommend even just skipping to module 5. It was probably my favorite. Growing your audience was one of my favorites, but then pricing and positioning, module 5, kind of blew my mind. The way that they did that and the way that they price and position their products. So, and services. So that alone to me was worth this whole course. It is a $200 course, but you will get it for free just as a thank you for setting up your free month. And this will all be emailed to you once you set up your free month, which you can do at convertkit.com/April 5. And so one more time, these are all the things, $307 worth of stuff that you will get for free. Just go to convertkit.com/April 5 and set up your free month. And if you're already a customer, you'll get these bonuses emailed to you as well. So if you're doing this for the first time, what you'll see when you go to convertkit.com/April 5 is a place to set up your account. So you'll enter in your email and password to set up your free month. And it says up to 1,000 subscribers. You can see there, if you have more than 1,000 subscribers, which I saw some of you do, no worries, you can still get a free month. Just email help@convertkit.com once you set this up. Let them know how many subscribers you have, and they will increase your trial subscriber amount so you can import all of your people if you like. And then it will ask you to put your credit card on file because you're setting up a full ConvertKit account. You'll have access to do everything, to make a funnel and set it live and start sending emails and do all the things. But nothing is going to be billed today. This is just allowing you to set up that account. You can cancel at any time. And I recommend setting a reminder in your calendar or ask your favorite phone robot lady to remind you. And, 29 days from now, my free month of ConvertKit ends. And then you can make a decision. I hope that this really helps you in your business, helps you build a community, helps you have more time to do what you really want to do, and sells more of the really cool things that you all are doing. I hope you're here for a long time, but I only want you here for a long time if you want to be here for a long time. I don't want to trick you into, oh my gosh, paying for a second month because you forgot about this. So if you forget about this and 35 days go by and you get charged $29 for your second month and you're like, oh my gosh, I meant to cancel that. My life got crazy. This happened. Email help@convertkit.com. Tell them what happened. Tell them you were on a workshop with Isa, ISA, 35 or something days ago, and they will give you a refund. I hope you're here forever, but I want it to be a two-way thing. I want you to be here too. So no pressure at all. One thing that you will also get if you're a current customer, if you're hanging out with us for a free month, we have a setup checklist in the top right-hand corner of your account. And so if you set up your account, check these boxes. There's some little videos too that can help you set this up. You will see a button appear that says claim your free gift. And once you click on that, we will mail you a t-shirt. You can pick the saying, you can pick the color. They're very soft t-shirts. I like to brag. And if you want to even match my wall here, you can pick the Create Every Day one, but Teach Everything You Know is very cool too. So that is something you will get. And even if you cancel after your free month or before your free month ends, we're not going to come take your t-shirt away. We're not going to go all the way to Sweden and take it. Well, we're happy you have it. And you can rep us, and you feel free to tag me on Instagram and I'll say hello, modeling your t-shirt. That would be pretty cool. And I also always like to end, because I get a lot of people asking me, well, why do people choose ConvertKit aside from the cool t-shirts? I mean, the cool t-shirts are pretty cool. We're definitely not the only email service provider out there. There's a lot. And I got this question a lot. And so what I did is I actually asked our customers. You don't really care what I have to say, right? Like, what do people who actually have chosen ConvertKit from the very beginning of their business, or those who've switched over, why have they done it? And we asked people, and these were the things, the top 5 things that kept coming up over and over again. So if any of this relates to you, it could be a good fit for you. And if not, no worries. We definitely want you to find the thing that works best for you. So what a lot of people tell us, I'd say the one I hear most of all, is how much they love the live trainings and love our people and live chat. I know for me, when I was starting my business, I decided to pay for a really good email service provider. ConvertKit wasn't around then it was 9 years ago, but I remember the first money that I spent, I was like, I really need people who can help me, because I can't spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a consultant. So having that really good support can make all the difference in getting things done fast and having someone to help you so you don't have to figure it all out yourself. We all who are at ConvertKit, we're creators. Like I'm a writer. Matt, who you'll see, and some of you already know, who's already customers, right? He's a creator. He does some amazing things on YouTube, right? Like we all know what you're going through and are here to help you. And then the big thing, like Joel said, the second thing is simple but powerful. That's exactly right. So ConvertKit's very simple so that if you've never done this before, you could start collecting emails and sending automatic emails right away. But it's also very powerful. There's a lot of features that if I showed you all of in this webinar, you'd be like, whoa, too many for 1 hour. There's a lot of very powerful things that people who have many, many subscribers and do many, many things are also able to use ConvertKit for. So it's really about being built for creators, people who really want to share the great work that they're doing with other people and need it to just work and need it to be simple so they can get back to doing all of the stuff that they do best. So for those of you who are current customers and you had some questions, these are some frequently asked questions that hopefully will help you if you're wondering about the bonuses. When in doubt, if you don't see those bonuses by tomorrow morning, email help@convertkit.com, tell them you're on this webinar, tell them you were live, and we will make sure you get what you're supposed to get. They know who you are, and they will make sure that you get your bonuses. And we are just about coming to a close here, and then I will answer any questions that you all have that Vanessa hasn't gotten to already. So, and she might even ask me some that she's been seeing, I'm guessing, because she just popped up here.
Yes.
Which I'm really excited about. So let's do this then, and I'll just leave up the bonuses here. What questions do we have, Vanessa?
Awesome. So Jose asked, how is Melissa tagging these people, and how does she know who wants what type of content?
So Jose is asking about tagging. I love tagging. Tagging, for those of you who've never heard it before, is a way to really segment your list so you can know who is interested in what, who wants what. It's almost like an in-email survey kind of thing. So I think, Vanessa, if you can actually drop the link to tagging, I think that would be really good, because really I could do a whole other webinar on tagging, and I think I should make one actually. I've been thinking about this because tagging is so cool. But essentially what you do, and the link that Vanessa just dropped in will show you exactly, but it's really as simple as linking something. So if you've ever linked something before, where you highlight it and then you add a URL, that is what you can do in ConvertKit, where you would create a link trigger. And so it's very similar to adding a link. The only other thing you'll add is a category, really. So maybe you say, anyone who clicks on this link, I want them to be tagged interested in my ebook. And then anyone who clicks on this link, I want to tag them interested in my course, right? So you can play with this in a lot of different ways, but it's a really, really good next level thing to be doing. Even what we talked about with funnels, right? You could even start your first email with a link trigger survey and then send people down 2 different email sequences depending on what they click. So that's like super pro advanced level stuff that does work really, really well, because again, you're going to get those higher open rates because you're getting even more specific and you're speaking to people even more directly. So I love that question, Jose.
And Patty asks, how often do you do these trainings?
Oh, Patty, well, that's a good question. We don't have a very particular schedule. So, but what we do have, I know for sure, if you're looking for just trainings, is Matt does trainings every week. So I will include that link in the replay email, and you can click on that and sign up for trainings anytime. So if you like something like this and you're like, hey, Matt, will you show me tagging? Like, I saw the link, but I want someone to just show me. That's what we do. And we're definitely here for you.
And I also just dropped that link to the training in the chat too, so you can take a look at that. And we had a couple more questions. Let's see. Mary wants to know, like, why we don't have templates, and does text marketing really work versus having some of the fancy images and different things like that?
Love this question. So you can still absolutely put images in your emails in ConvertKit and even play with some design elements that you would like to do. We have people do that, and you can definitely do that. I put an image, you'll see when I email you from ConvertKit with the replay, there'll be an image of me and the slides or something, and that works really well. You can still put stuff in there, but what's nice about text-based versus a actual HTML, really complicated template, is it helps with that deliverability, getting your email to people's inboxes. Those kind of really busy templates can sometimes be read as spam. So Melissa, actually, who I showed you that example from, she actually told me she was really nervous at first about switching to ConvertKit because it was going to be text only. And she was like, I don't know, sewing, it's a very crafty thing. She was thinking I might need lots of stuff. And so she was totally skeptical about that. And she told me what blew her mind is that she got more engagement. Her engagement, I actually remember this. The quote was, our engagement went through the roof. People were replying to her because the email felt more like an email a person sends versus an email a company sends. And we're just way more apt to reply to an email when we feel like we're replying to a real person versus replying to a big company. So when it comes to engagement, building that community, those relationships, text can work really, really well for that. And we've seen a lot of good feedback there. Anything else, Vanessa?
I think we just had one more question I wanted to answer. Samantha said, what if you have something that you want to share that isn't part of your funnel, like it's a time-sensitive thing? So we didn't get into broadcast versus funnels, but you can totally do that.
Love that. So yes, that is called a broadcast. And if you saw my demo account under broadcast, you would just click that and write an email, and you could send it immediately or you could schedule it out. So you can absolutely do that. What I actually do for my own email list is because I'm not selling anything right now, I'm working on my next book and then I'll make my funnel once that gets closer. So right now I just have an automated email kind of newsletter that goes out once a week because I still have an email list, and I also don't want them to forget about me, because if I'm just like a year later, hey, I have a book, they're going to be like, who are you? So it's good to keep people remembering you. That's another really important part of email and automation. So I have a weekly newsletter that goes out that I've pre-written. And I add more whenever I have time. And so in the intro email to that, where I say, okay, here's what you're going to get. It's going to get it every Wednesday. This is going to happen. And I was like, and you also might get random emails from me for things that just can't wait until Wednesday. And that's when I send a broadcast and I have news for them that's like actually happening now. And so I set people up for that. So you can kind of tell them too, when they join your email list, what's going to happen, what they can expect. People like consistency. They like to know what they're getting. So very, very good question. You can absolutely do both. You don't have to choose funnels or broadcasts.
Such a good answer. And I just want to let everybody know also, I'm getting a lot of questions in the chat about, do we integrate with WordPress and Squarespace? So I just dropped the integrations link in there. We integrate with a lot of different platforms, so feel free to go through the list, and I'm pretty sure you're going to find what you're looking for there. So we have all sorts of plugins and nice little real people that are kind of computer wizards, and they will set you up perfectly.
Definitely. Any other questions, Vanessa?
No, we're good. Sorry if we missed your question, but feel free to email help@convertkit.com, like Issa said, and we will totally get to you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa. And thank you all so much for being here. If you think of any questions later, just like Vanessa said, email help@convertkit.com, and we will help you out with whatever else you need to know. One more time, if you haven't yet, go to convertkit.com/April5. That Product to Profit $200 masterclass will disappear once this webinar ends. So if you haven't done that yet, go to convertkit.com/April5, set up your free month, and all of that stuff will be automatically emailed to you. And if you have any questions about that setup process or anything tripping you up there, you can also email help@convertkit.com, and they will help you out with that. So absolutely no worries. And I did see a question before we go from Garrett that said, do you find a webinar creates a better close rate than sales funnels only? And I thought that was an interesting question because a thing that you can put in a funnel is a webinar. So you could try both, Garrett. I think it's going to be different for every single person, and it depends on who your audience is and what they respond to. But we love experimentation. That's how people figure things out. Everyone I know who has an online business, none of them like just did a thing and it worked perfectly the first time. That doesn't happen. They all experiment, try things, listen, and keep iterating from there. So what I would recommend is using this process we just did. Do one funnel that leads to the purchase, and then maybe do another one that leads to getting them to sign up for a webinar. And then you compare it for yourself. I think that would be a brilliant idea. I love webinars. I think they're great. If you have never experimented with webinars, highly recommend it. So you could play around with that for sure. Thank you all. Oh yeah, Vanessa, do you have
something? No, that was it. No, I'm good.
Okay, yay.
Say bye.
Yay. Well, thank you all so much for being here. We're at the end of our hour. Again, if we didn't get to your question, help@convertkit.com. But I just want to thank you so much for being here, for spending an hour with me and Nessia. That's so cool. You got to give yourself a little pat on the back because this is not what everyone does, takes an hour out of their day. It's what people who actually have a shot at doing this do. So I want to congratulate you for doing that, because the people who are doing this are always learning and always implementing and always experimenting. And it's what inspires me, that you care enough about what you do to show up for an hour to learn. I just think that's very special. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Samantha and Corey. Oh my gosh, such kind words coming in the chat. Thank you, guys. Please say thank you to Vanessa too, like Christina did. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, all of you. And you will see a replay. The replay does go away after a day, but you will get that in your inbox in a couple hours. If you want to go back and screenshot any notes or go through something again, you totally can. So thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And thank you, Vanessa. Bye.